welcome back. So currently we're on a car ride headed to the port because we're going on our last family vacation for the summer. We have one more vacation planned, but it's for Christmas. Say hi, Marvin. Where's Mia? Hi, Mia. So as the video is entitled, I wanted to tell you a little bit about Responsive Classroom. Over the summer, I had the opportunity to take a full week of Responsive Classroom training, and it was amazing. I also took a couple days class for the leader and me, and then I took an ESOL class this summer. So I actually went through a paradigm shift this summer, but I'll talk about that in a future video. So for today, I wanted to show you some resources that I got from Responsive Classroom. And as I'm in the car for a couple of hours, I decided that I'm going to go ahead and start planning the first week of school because it's coming really, really soon. So in order to start planning the first week of school, what I brought with me was the resources that I normally use for planning, as well as my Responsive Classroom resources. One resource that I got from Responsive Classroom was Yardsticks. And this book tells you all about children between the ages of 4 and 14. It is by Chip Wood, and it is a Responsive Classroom resource. And so I hope you guys remember my older boys. They're now 21, or he'll be 22 this year, and DJ will be 20. But when they were little, I took a class called Human Growth and Development. And it had a book sort of like this, except it was psychology based. And that really helped me understand the boys as they were growing up. So when this book, they told us about this book in class, I thought it was a great resource. They showed us how to use it. I don't want to go too much into it. Obviously, I don't have anything to do with Responsive Classroom except that I took the class and I'm an educator. But this is a great resource if you want to know, like, why does he keep falling out of his chair? You know, oh, maybe he just turned this certain age, so he's still in the developmental stages. So this is a great resource in the very beginning of the year to start thinking about, okay, whose birthday falls when and where would they be in this chart. For me, I was looking anywhere between the 8-year-olds and the 10-year-olds, obviously because Marvin and Mia are 8, and then in 4th grade I usually have anywhere from 10 to 11-year-olds. The resource that we were given for free was the resource book that we used for the week class. And obviously, as you can see, I took a crazy amount of notes, but for about the next 30 minutes or so, I'll be re-looking back over this resource to make sure that I didn't forget anything that I want to incorporate this year into my classroom, as well as, oh, look at the big birds. Sorry, squirrel, do your kids do that in class? As well as, because the school paid for me to go to this class, I am responsible for them taking this information back and passing it on to the teachers. So I'm going to be creating a PowerPoint for the teachers about what I learned and what they can take away from it as well. But this resource, I'm not sure if you can buy this resource without taking the class, but this was an amazing resource. I mean, I've got notes all on the sides this was an amazing resource. So as they said, the class was you learned Responsive Classroom in a responsive class. So it was great. It was well worth the class, and that book contains pretty much everything that I took away from the class. Another resource that is invaluable that I wish I had a long time ago is the first 6 weeks of school by Responsive Classroom. This book, on the way home from this trip, when I went to the class, I read the book on the way home. I think I lived like maybe 2 hours from where the class was, and I read this entire book on the way home. And so it literally gives you your first 6 weeks. How to teach your first 6 weeks if you're going to be doing the Responsive Classroom. type of teaching, this is an amazing resource. So you better believe that I am definitely going to be looking at this resource as I sit down to plan. The First 6 Weeks of School by Responsive Classroom. That's definitely a must-have if you're not sure how to open your classroom and things like that. And the last resource that I got from the class was, or I actually got another one, but I think I left that home, was an Energizer book. I used to think that Energizers and brain breaks and all of that stuff like that was a waste of time. Come on, we can do something better with that time, right? I had a paradigm shift. It's like really needed. And then I did some side research on some studies that are done overseas, and I was like, oh my gosh, like we're doing Energizer / brain breaks this year. So this gives you 88 Energizers for grades K to 6, and it's by Susan Rosser, and it is a responsive classroom resource. So, and it literally gives you the Energizers. And so what I plan on doing with this is actually typing them into a Word document, because when you're doing things like chants, you want the kids to already know the words and things like that. So I'm going to type the words into a Word document so that when I say, okay, let's do this chant, all I have to do is pull up the Word document and there's the words and things like that or whatever. So those are the main resources that I'm going to be looking at when I'm starting my first week, or actually my first 20 days of planning. I say 20 days because in the first 2 weeks, I do not touch the curriculum. It's all about building that relationship in the first 2 weeks for me. And this was even before I took the Responsive Classroom week-long course this week. So to get into the meat and potatoes of the first 20 days of lesson planning, I have this. And what this is my Bible, if you will. It has my curriculum map, it has old resources, everything like that. So the first day when they come in, because I always said, how will they know what to do when they first come in? So the very first day of school, I'm waiting outside of my door as the students come in, as I am every day concurrent. And so I just created this little resource, and it says, when you first come in, I'm standing at the door with a pile of these, as well as markers, dry erase markers. And so it gives them a checklist of what is expected of them as they come in, and they are laminated. I just made it really quickly in a Word document. And it just says, greet me, right? Place your agenda. I have a little box, which I'll show you in my classroom once I get it more complete. Place your agenda in the box. And then put your book bag away. I have a rack for book bags. Check and respond to morning message. I have my morning message every morning on my smart board, and then it has a part where you need to respond to the morning message, and then that's in another part of the classroom. But I'll show you guys all of that. And then grab your morning work from the kidney table. And the morning work, I stumbled across a math review morning work that lasts the entire year. So it's pretty much that. It's a math review. And then, of course, after they finish that, if they finish early, they can go back and pick up any ongoing work that they need to complete. And then finally, put down your chair and begin your morning work. So after you complete each of these items, you check it off. You put your name at the bottom and you turn it in to our orange basket with your morning work. So at the very beginning of the year, this is the very first thing that they get as they enter into the classroom. But then from there, back to planning. So I have a year. I sat down this summer. This is what I did this summer. And I took all of the resources that I've gathered and I put them in a binder. And I still have another full crate, milk carton, full of resources. And I'm at a loss because this is not working. So I started this summer and I got through a full binder. And I said, I don't think this is really going to work, because if I'm looking for a worksheet that we've done before for main idea, okay, I think I separated them correctly, but this is too mind consuming to be easy to fit what I wanted it to do. But anyways, what I tried to do this summer was I took my old curriculum map and I broke it all down by the sessions. And so how I did it was I said, okay, for the first 20 days, you know, it's all relationship building. And then, you know, main idea, details, nonfiction. And then the next 20 days is fiction. They need to learn first person, third person, things like that for the entirety of 180 days. So that's what I did. I kind of broke it all down so that I could get a bigger picture of what is it that I really need to be teaching. Because I personally think I struggled with it. I was told that I'm okay with it, but if I feel like I struggle with it, then I'm gonna try my best to fix it. So I really wanted to understand how to break down these standards and what I really needed to give these students to make sure that they can succeed. So I did that, and then I also wrote down what I can do for evidence of learning in those 20 days, you know, in those periods. For instance, after 40 days, they should be able to start thanking maps, and they'll be able to do exit tickets and foldables and things like that. And then I am a Common Core school, and then I broke down all the Common Core standards into when I would possibly be teaching this, like cluster 1, cluster 2. So I broke all of the scopes, all of that down, scope and sequence, and then I separated everything into the clusters. And within those clusters, I put what we were given for a map last year. It might change a little bit this year, but I'm not worried about it changing too much. So I put the map in there, and then behind the map I put what I thought should go in that unit, but it's not going to work. And that's why I stopped. I stopped cold turkey. And so any suggestions on how you keep a hold of your resources from years prior, what you do with them to make it easier for you for the next year, please let me know down below. But that's it for now. I'm actually going to start looking through my resources, and I'll bring you guys back in when I'm actually starting the planning process. Hi! As you can see, we're on the cruise. So yesterday I said that I was going to do some lesson planning on the ride here. I didn't get a chance to, but this is what I got a chance to do. Check it out. Alright, so here's what I got done. This is what I'm going to be going over with the teachers. This is just in a Word document, and I just typed it up so that I have a little cheat sheet, if you will, of what I'm going to be going over. So the takeaway that I took that I'm going to be giving to the teachers is to establish rules the responsive classroom way, which includes using teacher language and how to respond to misbehavior, the morning meeting, the purpose behind the morning meeting, and I believe that I'm giving this talk to K through 4 teachers, so it all depends on how it goes, if we'll be actually doing the morning meeting. Here, I'll show you what my morning meeting looks like. So my morning meeting for day 2 is a partner introduction. Then we'll be doing a sharing, a family member that I like to spend time with, an activity of Warm Wind Blues, and you can probably like Google all of these type things. So then it's good morning 4th graders, happy second day of school. Today is for specials we have. Thinking about after school activities, check out the list below and add your name under your favorite activity. Like I said, this is on the whiteboard. So then there will be an example of this. I'm still debating how I want to do this. Normally I have a post-it, a huge butcher paper, and then there's a stick of post-it notes that I stick on the actual paper, and then they just go. But this year I'm trying something different, and they said that I can lock my screen at school so that they can actually interact with my whiteboard without, you know, changing things. And then back to, So then after we do a morning meeting, or I just go over the components of a morning meeting, oops, sorry, I'm going to do an energizer, and I'm going to show you guys the energizer. It's a really super cute, fun energizer. So like I said, for my energizers, I like to have them all typed up and ready so that my students already know the words and everything like that when it's time. So this energizer is called Awake, Alert, Alive, and awake, alert, alive, enthusiastic. So it's in that beat. Awake, alert, alive, enthusiastic. Awake, alert, alive, alive, alert, awake. Awake, alert, alive, enthusiastic. And then the motions are, for awake, you point to your eyes. Alert, point to your brain. Alive, cross your arms over your chest, or I say give yourself a hug. Enthusiastic, you clap your thigh, clap your hand, snap your finger. Enthusiastic. Awake, alert, alive, enthusiastic. Okay? So that's the energizer. We're all going to do the energizer, no matter how many teachers that I actually have that day. And then I go over the closing circle and its purpose, and I give a few examples of the closing circle. So this was my take from Responsive Classroom. There was so much more. This does not do any justice. They have things like, hold on one second. Just to finish off this blog post, Responsive Classrooms has things like cooperative learning strategies, different things like that. However, I did not include those into my presentation because we actually do Kangen structure as far as cooperative learning and things like that. So I didn't include that into my presentation. This is going to be the end of this video. We're in the Bahamas. We're headed to the beach.